All right, well, welcome, welcome. Good to see all of you. It makes me feel very loved this morning that you're here. And I hope you have a moment to set up your yoga space at home to make you feel a little bit warm and comfy. I've had my heater going and it made my camera fog up. So if it's a little extra foggy, I apologize. We're just trying to figure out how to do winter yoga. We're going to start today in a tall, comfortable position. So go ahead, find wherever your mat is, take a seat, cross your legs, one in front of the other. And start to take full deep breaths into your belly. You can bring one hand to your belly if that helps you ground down into something there. If you have really tight hips, it may be difficult to sit cross-legged, so you can take a block or any sort of prop, place it underneath your hips. And as you take a few deep breaths, I'm going to talk to you about what to expect for class today. I came to yoga because I was an injured athlete and I needed some way to stay healthy, not knowing that yoga would be a good place for me because it has a balance between fitness and meditation. Carly was someone who was instrumental in my yoga journey as an undergrad and welcomed me into the community. And so it's really special to have her here. Thank you, Carly. So with that sense of gratitude, I invite you to join this practice today, knowing that all bodies are so different, especially athletes. That's the wonderful thing about teaching athletes. You'll have folks who are so incredibly strong in some classic yoga poses. They have, can do an arm balance and also might struggle with tight hips or hamstrings. So we'll have some advanced things. We'll have some foundational stuff. I hope that wherever you are, you will enjoy. But the one big favor I have to ask of you is to check your ego. So if you find something is difficult, take a breath, focus on your strength. Don't be hard on yourself. That's what I mean by checking your ego. I want you to show up today because you love your body, not because you hate it. And this hour can be a practice of that. With that, let's get started. Go ahead and take a child's pose, which means that you'll bring your knees wider than hips out in front of you. Your toes come back to touch, and then walk your hands away so that your forehead can come down to the earth. If you have any sort of warm-up layers on and you want to wear them for a while like me, you're welcome to. I'll tell you when to take them off, or when you warm up, you take them off. Now you're in your child's pose. You've got your forehead down to the earth. You're pressing your spine, your hips back toward your heels. And this is an awesome pose because it reminds you to focus in on your breath, on your heart. It closes everything else off. Spread your fingers wide on the mat. And then as you take your next exhale, walk your hands over to the right. Your hands can leave your mat. Sink your left hip down toward the earth. You should feel a stretch through the left oblique. Your next inhale, walk your fingers through center and over to the left side. Still grounding down through your tailbone, pressing it to your heels. That right hip wants to lift up, push it back, and then allow the forehead to come down to the earth if that's accessible. On your next inhale, come back through center. Walk your hands beneath you so that your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Spread your fingers wide. We'll take a cat-cow to warm up the spine. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale to round the spine. Look back toward the thighs. Lift the belly toward the spine. Then follow your breath. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round the spine. Take a few more movements here. You can continue this simple inhale and exhale, but I encourage you to move. I call this disco kitty, where you start to circle your hips out in one direction and then the other. That's the beautiful thing about being online, is that people can't judge you for something weird that you might do. And it's all about trying not to judge yourself, to take a few freeing movements and continue to breathe deeply. Work out some of these tensions in big muscles like the shoulders and the hips. Come back to stillness on your next inhale. And we'll set up for a downward facing dog. I'm already getting warm enough to remove the sweatshirt here. I hope you're feeling warm wherever you are. Spread your fingers out wide on the mat. Tuck your toes underneath you. Lift your hips back behind you. Keep your knees bent. With your knees bent generously, lift your hips as high as you can to the ceiling. See if you can straighten your spine, straighten your arms. And then you can straighten your right leg, drive that right heel to the earth. Find a stretch in your calf and switch sides. Right knee bends again, left knee straightens. Say that a little quicker. Bend the left leg, stretch out the right calf, switch sides. And then a few more times, just switch side to side, pedaling out your feet. Find yourself in a downward facing dog, pressing both heels to the earth. If you find that straightening your legs rounds your spine, bend your knees. This is a totally acceptable variation of the pose. Very nice. Inhale, look forward. And on your exhale, walk to the top of your mat, your space, so you're in a forward fold. Bend your knees, bring your feet hip-width distance apart, and cross your arms like they're crossed across your chest, but allow them to hang toward the floor. Nod your head yes, shake your head no, and then let your head and neck be heavy as well. You're in a forward fold. You should feel an opening in your hamstrings and your lower back. We'll find a flat back on your next inhale. Lift your spine, bring it parallel to the earth. Draw your shoulder blades together and find space across your collarbones. So your fingers can be on the earth, or if you have tight hamstrings like me, coming up your shins to allow for a flat back. On your exhale, plant your palms, step yourself back into a high plank. Inhale, glide forward, bring your shoulders over your wrists, maybe a little past. Exhale, lower your knees down to the earth and come all the way down to the earth with your chest, getting ready for a cobra pose. As you breathe in, just peel your shoulders off the mat. And as you breathe out, find a child's pose again. Bring your knees wider than the hips. Hips sink toward the heels. Come forward. So that's your classic vinyasa flow, that high to low with the back bend and then back into a child's pose or downward facing dog. If you want a more active variation, we'll do that now. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes under, lift your hips. Exhale, glide forward, high plank, and then lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, lift up, just the shoulders. Downward facing dog, all the way out. One more time, even more active. Inhale, glide forward, high plank. Exhale, this time lower only halfway down. And then as you inhale, find an upward facing dog. Draw your collarbones through your hands, lift your chest up to the sky. Back to a downward facing dog on your exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. And then walk yourself to the top of your space, forward fold. Gotta take off these socks. They were warm, they're not helping with attraction. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise all the way up to the sky. Sweep your arms out to the sides and up. Bring your palms together. Exhale, forward fold, right back down. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant the palms. Step it back into your high plank. Inhale to glide forward. Bring your shoulders past your wrists. Exhale, lower halfway down or to your degree. Inhale. Open the heart. Exhale, press it back, child's pose or downward facing dog. Feel free to customize this as your practice. Take what you need. We'll take a few breaths. If child's pose is more restorative than downward facing dog, it obviously is, but take what you need and what you want today. A few breaths to settle in, to take stock. All right, everyone, we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Child's pose is always there for you. On your inhale, lift your right leg back behind you. Three-legged dog. See how high you can lift that right foot. And then on your next exhale, step it through, getting ready for a warrior one. Your right toes are pointing forward. Your left toes actually tick-tocking out to the side so that that left heel can come down to the earth. If your hips are tight, step a little wider so you're not on a tightrope, you're more on a train track here with your feet. Use your hands to swivel your hips to the front of the room. Inhale to sweep the fingers to the sky. Take a deep breath in to look up. And on your exhale, we'll open to a warrior two. Right arm goes in front, left back behind, the hips open to the side. In your warrior two, if you notice your right leg is doing all the work, see if you can press into your left leg and share the load in between your two strong legs. Reverse your warrior by inhaling your right fingertips up to the sky and back. Your left arm goes down your back leg. And then plant the hands on either side of that right foot. Step yourself back into a high plank. We'll flow through your vinyasa, high to low. Open the heart, breathe in. Exhale, press it back. Left leg lifts, deep breath in, three-legged dog. Taking an extra breath to energize the lifted leg, lift it a little bit higher. Following your exhale to step it through, warrior one. Right heel grounds down. Inhale to rise, swivel the hips forward. There's a little bit of play happening between your right toe that's grounding down to the earth and your right hip that's swiveling forward. That should be feeling really delicious. Sweep the arms up to the sky. As you inhale, your fingers just a little bit higher. Exhale, your shoulders down, your back, lengthen your spine, lengthen your neck. On your next breath out, warrior two, open the hips. Left arm in front, right arm back behind. Take a peek at your left knee. It should be stacking on top of your left ankle. If you need more space, if it's past, you're gonna wanna lengthen that lunge. Beautiful. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Left arm reaches up, right arm back. This is a great stretch for the obliques. And then back to your high plank. Cartwheel the hands forward on either side to that left foot. Step it back and flow through. Downward facing dog, I'll meet you there. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Halfway lift, long spine. Forward fold, let it go. Inhale to rise with the arms out to either side. And exhale for chair pose. Sink your hips back, just like you're sitting in a chair. Take a peek. You should be able to see all 10 toes past your knees. If your knees are too far forward, you won't see them, so sink your hips back in space. Inhale to lift the arms out in front of you. Bring your biceps to either sides of your ears. Allows us to be more of a core stretch. Tuck your tailbone under so you have a flat spine here. And then sit a little bit lower. Building a little heat in the thighs. Stay here for 3, 2, and 1. Forward fold. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. And then cross your arms and release. If you want to make this more of a back stretch and less of a hamstring stretch, bend your knees. If your back is feeling tight and hamstrings not so much, you can straighten your legs. So you have an option based on who you need to take care of today, legs or back. Hopefully both. Be gentle. You're welcome to both bend and not fold so far forward, but please let your head and your neck go. Don't hold any tension there. And then release the arms. Take a long spine. Step it back into your high plank. Your choice whether you want to flow through your vinyasa or press it right back to a downward facing dog. I'll meet you there. So now you're in a downward facing dog. The key part of vinyasa is the flow, the linking breath to movement. We'll do that together. Inhale your right leg high, three-legged dog. Step it through as you breathe out. Get your feet set up for warrior one. Inhale to rise. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Right arm up, left arm down. And exhale, we're going to add on extended side angle. You can bring your right forearm to the top of your right knee. The left arm opening up to the sky and then reaching over, bicep coming toward the ear to create a long straight line between the fingers of your left hand and the toes of your left foot. See if you can add a little bit of balance challenge here by putting less weight into your right arm and your right leg. You can float that arm off of the leg. You can, if you're really flexible, reach a little bit past it, bring your right fingers closer to the floor while keeping your 90-degree bend in the right leg. Or adding the core, lift your arm, your right arm to be parallel with your left, frame your ears. So strong. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant the palms, step it back. Vinyasa or skip it, your choice. We'll all meet up in a down dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale and sigh it out. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Step it through, warrior one. Warrior two, breathe out. Reverse your warrior. Lean back just a little bit, reach up. And then extended side angle on this side. The forearm to the left knee, right arm goes up and over. Press some more weight into the baby toe side of your right foot as you energize through the right fingertips. Gaze up toward the ceiling past your right bicep. That's uncomfortable on your neck. Keep that lifting sensation of your chest that the gaze forced you to do. And then do whatever you need with your head and neck. And we'll make this a little more complicated. Whether you want to stretch further by bringing your left fingertips down toward the earth, keeping your long straight line on the right side, or engage the core. Stay here. 3, 2, and 1. Plant the palms. Slow it out. Option to just press it back. Not optional, please keep breathing deep, delicious breaths. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. And you can walk or hop to the top of your mat. I'm going to walk today until you get to a forward fold. All right, since we're in a yoga for athletes class here, we're getting to a fun arm balance. I want you to give it a try if this is for you. If it is not, then do not judge yourself. Please find joy wherever you are, and we'll play with it. Bring your feet together so that your big toes touch, or at least so that your legs are pressing into each other. Take a halfway lift, long spine. Forward fold, let it go. Inhale to sweep all the way up to a stand. And then exhale, forward chair pose. Take the same technique you did in our first chair pose, and then bring your palms together out in front of you. Palms at heart center, thumbs at the sternum. We'll twist, looking over the right shoulder. See how much you can engage your core to twist before planting your left elbow on top of that right knee. Take a peek at your knees. They should still be in line. Your left knee is going to want to poke out in front in your twist. Totally normal. Bring them back. All right, you can stay here, but this is where it gets a little complicated. Your first option is to open the arms up to a T and continue to press your left tricep into the right knee, stretching through the shoulders, open the chest. Here comes the arm balance. If you can bend your knees so much that you can bring your hands down to the earth, Still pressing your left tricep into the outside of your right leg. Spread your fingers out on the mat like you're in a downward facing dog. And then lean your weight forward. Your right toes pick up off the earth. You're pressing so much weight into your left tricep, you might be able to pick your right foot up off the earth. Give it a try. Whenever you stumble, wherever you are, find joy. Notice that you are so strong. And then we'll meet back in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Thank you so much for playing with that with me. One of the things I noticed about being a climber is that arm balances were so much easier for me, and I don't climb so much anymore. So this is all the practice for fun, and I hope it's a practice of loving your body and not feeling weak. So I have to rewrite that story for myself. I'm here to play, not to remember I used to be stronger, but instead find the ways I'm strong. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Forward fold, let it go. Inhale to rise all the way up to the sky. We'll find a chair pose on the other side. Bring your toes together to touch beneath you. Exhale to sink the hips. Palms come together. Take a twist over to the left. Using your core to twist as far as you can before landing right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Option number one, opening the arms like wings. Option number two, come into the balance pose. Bend your knees so much. Twist a little deeper so that the hands can come down like in a down dog. You might even walk your feet a little further away from your hands. You're trying to get your wrists to take the weight. As you play with lifting your right toes, maybe your left toes off to the side. You can bring your chest down to your left tricep as well to give you more of a balance on your arms. Take a few more moments to play, to challenge you all, wherever you are. I'm so proud that you're doing this with me. It's all for fun, right? I'll meet you in a forward fold. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to rise all the way up to the sky. And we'll stay standing for a moment. Take stock. Spread your toes out on the mat. Bring your hands to heart center to feel the beating of your heart. I'm just taking this moment to slow it down, to reground. And we'll go right back into it. Sweep the arms out and up. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back. Your vinyasa, or skip it. Take deep, full body breaths. Once you're downward facing dog, take a few moments to make it more comfortable, whether that's pedaling out the feet again, remembering to press into all 10 fingers. And then inhale your right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale to step it forward, crescent lunge. Inhale to rise. And your crescent lunge is different than your warrior because all 10 toes are pointing forward here. Your left heel is lifted up off the earth. Still, you're energizing through your fingertips, reaching up to the sky, and your hips are squared off to the front of the room. On your next exhale, drop your back knee. You'll notice this is a different variation of a crescent lunge with a little more attention to your left hip flexor. All right, now you know how both feel in your body. Take whatever one you need. If you need something more active or if you need more hip flexor love, your choice. On your next exhale, we'll twist. Bring your palms together to heart center. Look over the right shoulder using the strength of your core. Twist as far as you can before landing left elbow, right knee. You can press there. Just a little further. Your body follows your gaze. Option to open the arms like wings. And this time I'm not going to make you balance. If you want to, go for it, but I know you can do it. But today, just be here. Enjoy what this pose has. Notice something about your body. See if you can tell a positive story about it. Not just my hips are tight, but building strength. You are strong in this moment. And then we'll open up to a warrior two. Untuck your lift your left knee off the earth if it's not already, and then sweep your right arm in front of you as your left arm goes back, left heel plants down. Reverse your warrior. Breathe in, right fingertips lift. Extended side angle. Exhale. And then vinyasa. Flow it out. Or press it right back to a down dog. Your practice, your choice. Hope you are also practicing taking ownership and doing what your body needs. Left leg lifts, deep breath in. Exhale to step it through. Crescent lunge on the other side. Notice how this might feel a little bit different. It definitely does for me. The bodies are not often symmetrical. It's more important to achieve that same sensation on each side than it is to have the same shape. Go ahead, drop that back knee. Everybody this time, just to feel it. Notice how this is different. And if you want to move back toward your active crescent lunge, go for it. We're ready to twist. Palms come together. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Guiding the right elbow to the top of the left knee. Take a peek that you're still creating a right angle with your left leg, your knee stacking above that ankle. And then take your variation, a crescent lunge twist. All right, you know where we're going. Let's see how smooth we can make this transition. Sweeping open to a warrior two. Reactivate that back leg. Left arm comes forward, right arm back behind, heel comes down. Very graceful. Y'all look great. Reverse your warrior, deep breath in. Extended side angle on the exhale. One more deep breath in here. Plant the palms, step it back. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, look forward. And walk yourself to the top of the mat for a forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine. Forward fold, let it go. Inhale to rise all the way up to the stand. And then bring the palms together at the heart. And do a little bit of balancing while you're here. So first, check in with your toes, spread them out on your mat, get your feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, bring your right leg into your chest. Your active leg really helps you in the balancing here. Keep your right toes flexed up toward the ceiling and interlace your hands around the right knee. Holding on. Nice. Switching your knee in just to your right hand. I'm gonna flip around to face you here. Open your right leg out to the side. Your left arm extends as a counterbalance. You're super flexible here. This might be a hand to foot pose. You grab a hold of your toe. Keeping your hips square under your shoulders. Take a few deep breaths to play with it. I love it. And then we will do a little something different. Pass the knee across the body into your left hand. So you feel a stretch in the outside of the right hip. Your right arm extends as a counterbalance. Keep your right toes flexed to the ceiling. Active, lifted leg helps you balance. Very nice. All right, your left leg, if your calf is cramping, release your toes. Whew. And then we'll do one more thing with this lifted leg. Bring it back to center and tip forward for an airplane pose. That means you're extending arms on either sides of your body. Your chest comes forward as your right leg presses back behind you. Find an upward facing dog quality in the chest as your right leg extends long. I'm going to twist around to the side to demonstrate the airplane pose. Imagine your hands are pressing off imaginary tabletops. That allows your chest to lift a little higher. Your right leg is so strong and active, reaching back behind you, pressing on the wall behind you. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Forward fold wherever you are. Take a pause. Notice how your hamstrings might feel a little bit different. And then we'll do the other side. Come up to a stand. Inhale your left knee into your chest, wrapping the fingers around. Taking a few deep breaths just to feel stable on your right foot. Notice how you're not gripping with your toes. Your right calf's not going to cramp on this side. I'll be honest with you, my left calf always cramps just a little bit, which is why we practice, right? Here, going hand to foot, you can grab a hold of those big toes, straighten the leg. Everybody else with me, bring your left leg out to the side. Ooh. And the wonderful thing about a balance practice is that it helps us practice that ego checking, that moment of like, oh my gosh, I suck, I fell down. Nope. This is a practice. Every moment is getting stronger. Falling down is so normal. And I'm not judging you. Please don't judge me. I'm here just to practice, to work at my balance. My right foot is a little worse than my left, but hey, that's why we're here to love our bodies. Switch sides, cross the left knee across the body, bring your right hand to it so you feel a stretch in the outer hip. Extend the left arm long. Very nice. We all are so still. Come back to center. Extend both arms. Airplane pose, tip it forward. Your left leg is a counterbalance. As it presses back behind you, you can lift your chest a little higher, keeping an active core and low back. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome to a stand. Take a moment to shake it out, spreading out your toes on the mat. I realize my camera angle is not quite right. I'll fix that for the next class. I'm sorry, so I have a forehead here. Go ahead and inhale your right leg up again. For this time, cross it over the top. So you're sitting like you're sitting in a chair with the legs crossed one over the other. Your right leg is on top. Your right arm goes underneath, getting ready for an eagle pose. Inhale to lift the elbows up toward the chin. Exhale to sink the hips. If you are flat up against the wall behind you, your spine could lean against it. That's how flat your back is. If you're able to continue to wrap those right toes around your left calf, go for it. I prefer a little kickstand. Your next exhale, sink deeper into your eagle wrap. Your hips go a little lower. You're finding more of a chair pose in your legs. Elbows go a little higher. If you have tight elbows, you can also start with the hug, where your arms grab onto your shoulders. Looks like you all got this wrap here. It's always an option for you. Inhale to lift the fingers just a little higher. And then we'll nest the eagle by bringing the elbows down to your knees. Slowly, slowly. Inhale to rise. Coming back to a straight spine. One more time, nesting your eagle. And then come on back. And as you release, open up like you're opening like a star. Whew, and shake it out. Very nice. Other side. Right foot plants. Left leg wraps around. You can wrap all the way around. find that kickstand. Go ahead, sink your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Your left leg's on top, your left arm goes underneath. Start with giving yourself a hug, reaching the hands for the deltoids, or continue that wrap of the arms. Inhale to lift the elbows up to the height of the chin. Exhale to sink the hips and lean the shoulders a little bit back so you have a flat spine. Can you sink a little lower? And nesting the eagle, where we're going next, I want you to notice your core, the strength of your core, and move really, really slowly as you touch the elbows to the tops of the thighs. Come back up all the way to stack your shoulders above your hips. To lift the elbows to the chin one more time, all the way back down. Come to your eagle pose. And release, open up like a star. Oh, let it go. Shake it out. Oh. All right, we have another balance pose with an arm balance coming. So get ready, get your arms ready to go. Take your right knee into your chest, and then find a figure four with your legs stacking right ankle on top of the left knee. Sink your hips, doing a lot of work for the quads to keep them strong today. Bring your hands to heart center. So this is where we start in a figure four balance pose. This to me is the hardest place to be. It gets a little bit easier for me to bring the elbows down to the right shin, pressing the hips back behind you. And then this actually makes the balance easier in my opinion, so that your elbows are pressing into your right lower leg. You can stay here. Here's where the arm balance option comes. Continue to reach your hands down to the earth and find a connection between your triceps and your right shin. You're going to need to bend your left knee even more to get your hands down to the earth. You can walk your left foot back behind you, and then eventually you're pressing a lot of weight between your triceps and your left shin, so much so that your left toes can begin to lift off the earth even for a moment. This is what's fun, Yoga for Athletes class. This might be more accessible, it also might not, wherever you are. I'm so happy with what you're doing. Please find joy in it. And then unwind. If you took it all the way down to the floor, can you come back up through the phases to pressing your elbows onto your right shin, to just a standing figure four balance. And then release. Nice work. Let's do the other side. Left knee into your chest. Figure four. Palms to heart center. Find a chair pose with that right side, sinking the hips back. Oof, this side is always a little worse for me. So if you need something to focus on that is not moving to support you in your balancing, it's not me. We got this. Bring your elbows down to your left shin if you want to go to the next phase, but wherever phase you're in, stay there. Enjoy it. If you want to add the arm balance, keep it going. Palms down to the earth, shin to tricep, and play. Taking your toes off the earth even for a moment. And then unwind. Same way we came in. We'll meet back in a standing pose. Whew. Nice. Thank you for joining me through that. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine. Step it back. Flow through your vinyasa or be back in a downward facing dog. Take a moment if you need to drink some water, readjust your mat. I have no idea how my mat always moves, but hey, at home practice. The many joys, the many perils. Take a deep breath in, your downward facing dog. Exhale, let it go. Inhale your right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Step it through, warrior one to rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Now move to a triangle pose. Straighten your right leg. Right arms comes forward as your left hip pushes back behind you, and then bring the right arm down. You can come down to your shin. Your right arm might reach the earth, or a block, any sort of props. Left arm extends up to the sky. Gaze past the fingertips of the left hand to stack your shoulders, your lungs, one on top of the other. And then do whatever's comfortable with your head, keeping that lift to the chest. Inhale to lift your left fingertips a little higher, like someone has grabbed hold of your hand and lifting you. And exhale to bring your arms parallel to the earth. We will walk that left leg in a little bit for a pyramid pose. So your feet are just about 2 feet apart, a much shorter stance than the normal lunge. Swivel your hips forward like you are in a warrior one. Inhale your fingers up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold over your right leg. If the ground feels a little bit far away, you can bring your blocks on either side of that right foot, folding your forehead toward the right knee. Releasing any tension in your head and your neck. I keep saying that because those are very stubborn parts of the body. You need a lot of friendly reminders. That's going to be pretty intense if you have tight hamstrings. We're going to add a revolved pyramid here. So if you have blocks, I really do recommend them, or books, or anything to bring the ground closer, lengthen your arms. Getting ready to plant your left palm on the inside of your right foot. Take your setup, your props. Plant your left palm. Inhale your right fingertips up to the sky for a revolved pyramid. Draw your right hip back behind you. Your body follows your gaze. So if you look over that right shoulder up to the ceiling, helping to stack the lungs one on top of the other in this revolved pyramid. 3, 2, and 1. Find your high plank. You can wash this out with a vinyasa or press it right back to a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Very nice. Left leg lifts. Warrior one. Warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Left fingers lifting. Right arm down that right leg. Straighten your right leg to make this a reverse triangle. And move toward a triangle pose. Bring your arms parallel with the earth. Reach your left fingertips forward, forward, forward. Hips go back as far as you can. And then when you have reached your extension, that's when the left arm comes down to the left leg. Right arm up to the sky. You can find a block. Find the earth. Find your breath for sure. You use the strength of your core. Come up to the stand. Getting ready for a pyramid pose. Walk your right foot in. Swivel your hips forward. Still that right heel grounds down to the earth. Inhale, the fingers lift. Exhale, forward fold over your left leg. Notice what happens to your breath when your head is beneath your heart. Notice what happens to the beating of your heart. Moments of stillness can be moments of mindfulness. Especially mindful if your hamstring is really talking to you. It's very easy to be present in that sensation, but come back to something consistent, maybe even relaxing, like your breath. All right, getting ready for a revolved pyramid. Get your setup, your right hand on the inside of your left leg, and then inhale your right fingertips up to the sky. Revolved pyramid. You can make this a little accessible, more accessible by stepping your feet wide, like you're on train tracks again, not on a tightrope. Body follows the gaze. Imagine someone's pulling your left hand just a little taller. This is one of the hardest poses for me because of a number of tight hips, tight hamstrings. So I'm with you. Breathe through it. 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. Take a vinyasa flow or press it right back into your downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, glide forward, high plank. As you exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly lower all the way down to the earth. We'll take a moment to rest. Extend the arms on either sides of your body. Bring your left cheek to the earth. And just chill for a moment. Bring your toes together to touch. I have a Berlin dog outside the door wanting to get in so badly. Again, the joys of at-home yoga. Take a rest. Bring your right cheek down to the earth. I need to go address my dog. But wherever you are, stay put. Take a moment to relax. We will rejoin in a moment. All right, getting ready for a little back core work. Bring your forehead to the earth. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Keeping your toes pressed down into the earth at first. And just peeling your shoulders, your forehead, your fingers off of the mat. See if you can look down, but do all the lifting with your chest so that it brings your gaze forward. I hope you're embodying some of this play energy that Berlin is sharing with us right now. So much joy. Go ahead and lower down, bring your left cheek to the mat. Go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your feet from side to side. And this allows your lower back to release, which might not feel like a lot right now, but as we do a little bit more back core work, will be pretty nice. Come back to center. Get ready to lift again. Inhaling the shoulders off the mat, lifting the fingers high, gazing down, but the upper body lift pulls your gaze forward. This time, bringing the toes together, inhaling the feet off the mat as well. Lift a little higher. For 3, 2, and 1. Come on down, right cheek to the mat. Bend the knees, drop them from side to side. We'll add a quad stretch here to our back bendy work. Bring your left arm forward so it's parallel with the top of your mat. It's going to be your kickstand. Right knee bends, reach back, grab a hold of the top of your right foot or ankle. Inhale to lift, kicking your right foot into your right hand to lift a little taller. Your right knee's going to want to pull out to the side. Try and keep it hip width distance apart from your left knee. Take another inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale to lower, opposite cheek to the mat. Bend the knees, release the low back. Other side, right forearm kickstand, left knee bends, grab a hold of that left ankle. Inhale to rise. And as you kick into your left hand, you'll be able to lift a little bit higher, continuing to draw the knees together beneath you. You might even inch your kickstand closer to your chest to allow for that lift. 3, 2, and 1. Come on down, opposite cheek to the mat. If it feels good to windshield wipe the feet from side to side, go for it. If it doesn't, no worries. Getting ready for the final side where you bend both knees. Final side, you only have 2. Well, let's do it at the same time. And then grab a hold of your ankles. Inhale to lift up, kicking your feet into your hands. Your gaze is still out in front of you, but it's your chest that allows you to look forward as it lifts higher. 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down, and we'll press it back into a child's pose. Forehead down to the earth. Press your child's pose into a downward facing dog. Take a few moments to make it as comfortable as you can. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. And then walk to a seated position at the top of your mat. Go ahead and roll it all the way down onto your back. Bring your heels close to your hips. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feels good to lay down. Have a flat spine after that. We're not quite done. Got some more fun stuff. Find a bridge pose. Inhale to lift the hips. We got a straight line from your shoulders all the way to your knees. Your arms can be like robot arms where your triceps are pressing down into the earth. Your shoulder blades coming together just a little bit beneath you. Your head's flat on the earth, and your chest is actually coming up to your head as your chin is running away. There's a little game of chase happening here. You're not drawing your chin to your chest, it's the other way around. And then lower down to the earth. Draw the knees into your chest. Rock from side to side, using the ground to provide a little self-assist massage here. Quite nice. Then plant the feet down on the earth. We'll take another bridge pose. Walk your heels close enough to your hips. You could touch them with your fingertips. And then inhale to lift the hips off the earth. Your hands can stay in robot arms, or you can interlace them beneath you, rolling onto your shoulders. Hello, Verlyn. She came back. And the beautiful thing about the clasp of the hands is that it actually draws your shoulders underneath you so that you can lift your hips a little bit higher in your bridge pose. Option to even come onto the toes. Lifting the heels off the earth. Lift the hips a little bit higher. The chest comes to the chin. Chin runs away. And then lower all the way down. Bring these into your chest. Work out that low back. It deserves all the love. We're going to do one more bridge pose. If you love wheel, this is the time. I will talk you through either option. Plant the soles of your feet. If you're in bridge, inhale, lift it up. If you're doing another bridge, take the interlace of your hands with the opposite finger on top. It's going to feel a little bit different, but we're just creating new neural pathways here. And lift. If you're in wheel, take your hands, point the fingertips back toward your feet. Placing the hands on either sides of your ears. And on your inhale, pressing up into your hands and your feet. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. Come all the way back down to the earth. Draw your knees into your chest. And we'll do a figure 4. If you love pigeon pose and you want to flip around and be on your belly, this is your time to shine. But everybody else, join me in a figure 4. Right ankle, left knee. You can start with your left foot flat on the earth and press your right knee away from you. Draw your legs toward your chest, first reaching, if you want to go further, first reaching for your left hamstring or your left shin. You're making this harder for yourself by pressing away with that right knee, harder in a good way, and then pressing your spine all the way through your tailbone into the earth. All right, if you're in a pigeon pose, come on back into your figure 4. We are going to do a figure 4 supine twist here. It's a little bit complicated, but you got it. I believe in you. Bring the right sole of your foot down to the earth while keeping your right knee pointed up to the sky. You can grab a hold of your left ankle. So right foot is down on the earth on the left side of your body. Your right arm and your gaze extends in the opposite direction. Right knee still pointing up toward the ceiling. You can grab a hold of your left ankle as it presses away from you. And then we'll commit to the supine twist by stacking the shins one on top of the other, right knee on top of the left. Both knees drawing down on the left side of the body. Your left arm can guide your IT band and knee to the earth as your right arm and gaze extend in the opposite direction. And let's unwind, come to the other side. Figure 4, left ankle, right knee. Start by pressing the left leg away and then drawing the right leg toward you. Finding not the same shape, but the same sensation. For me, the left side is a lot tighter. It's pretty normal. I'm still working on not judging myself. And every moment of stillness is an opportunity for mindfulness. Imagine sending your breath to the tight spaces of your left hip or anything else that you notice in this moment, in this pose. By sending your breath or your intention to these spaces, you ask them to relax, hopefully working out a little tension, some of these really strong, hard to release muscles. And then we'll do that figure 4 supine twist. Left sole of the foot goes straight down to the earth. Left knee continuing to point toward the ceiling. Grab a hold of that right ankle if it helps, so your left knee can keep pressing away and get that stretch of the outer hip. And then twisting over in the other direction. What can be tricky about teaching an online class is you have to talk a lot more than a normal class, just to remind folks you're still with them. We're all still doing this together. We're still giving you the chance to have your own experience, to be mindful. Supine twisting by pressing the left thigh on top of the right, stack the knees one on top of the other. Drawing toward the floor, allowing the legs to be heavy, the arm and gaze to extend in the opposite direction. The simple version of this here is honestly just dropping both knees over to the right and then gazing, extending the left arm over to the left. So if you're lost, you can do that and still get delicious back stretch of the supine twist. And then come back to center. We're going to take an inversion. We have a couple of options. Option number one is the most passive. Take a block, any sort of prop, place it underneath your sacrum, and then just allow your feet to be above your knees, above your hips, and then the blood in your legs to drain back toward your heart. If you don't have a prop, another option here is the beautiful pose we call dead bug, where your arms stack above shoulders, your legs above hips, and just hang out there. A couple other options for you would be legs at the wall if you have a wall close by and you want to just scoot your booty up to the wall and let your legs hang out there. Whew, that's a really, really nice one, especially if you have strong and or tight legs. Your last option, because we'll hang out here a little bit, is something more active. We're going to do a shoulder stand variation for your inversion. Any of these options, by the way, are good to go. Press your triceps into the earth, lifting up your hips, reaching for the space in between your hips and your rib cage. Trying to stack your shoulders above, the hips above the shoulders. Take a moment to lift your head and your neck looking straight up and notice that your shoulder stand is doing all of the work. Your head and neck is doing none of it. It's not a head stand, it's a shoulder stand. Stay in your inversion for a few breaths. And then come on down, wherever you are. Drawing your knees into your chest. Find a happy baby, reach the outside edges of your feet. Bring the knees out to either sides of the body and up to the armpits. Soles of the feet toward the ceiling. Then bring the soles of your feet together. Drop the pinky toe sides all the way down to the earth for a reclined butterfly. Take a few deep breaths. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. This brings us to the end of our 60-minute class. However, I've cheated you from one of the best parts of yoga class, which is Shavasana, which is laying flat on the earth and reaping the benefits of all that movement with a little bit of meditation. So if you have time today, I encourage you to, whether right now or later, find stillness, take a few deep breaths, you can listen to a favorite song or be in complete silence. But I hope that you take this as an opportunity to be mindful throughout your day, not just in this class. If you have a moment right now, you can extend your legs, extend your arms, and just lay flat on the earth, closing your eyes. Or if you need to get about the rest of your day, it's totally understandable. I am so grateful for you for showing up in this class, and I want to hear your feedback. I've never used this platform before. I'm so curious how you felt about both the online yoga and about me as a teacher. So thanks for coming. Take care. See you soon. This is fun. I can't figure out how to end the class. Having a little technical difficulties here, which means that I can neither hear you lovely people nor end my class, but it is so good to see you. All right. Wow. Take care. We'll see you soon.